Hey folks, welcome to another Passion for Sound audio review, or audio reviews as the case may be, because I'm going to repeat this same intro across a number of videos. I apologise for the repetition, but with the new baby on board, I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible so I can keep getting content out to you as quickly as I can. So coming up in this next batch of reviews, I've got the Audio-Technica ATH M50X that you can see here. I've also got the Bose Quiet Comfort QC35 Mark II, and a quick mini review for an upgrade cable, in my case for the Metzer Empyreans, but a cable that can be made for any headphones that I really want to talk about because the quality of it is quite astounding for the price. Before I get into the reviews though, I just want to remind everybody of a couple of things. First of all, the Moondrop Starfield giveaway was never claimed by the original winner, so I've redrawn it, and the lucky winner now is Hearing Sinus. So Hearing Sinus, if you're watching this, please comment below so I can let you know how to claim your prize, and that's for the Moondrop Starfield IEM, so congratulations to you. For those of you who missed out on the Moondrop Starfields, the good news is that as of these videos begins the giveaway for the Topping E30 DAC that I reviewed recently. So all you have to do is, in any of these three videos with this introduction, just subscribe and comment on the video. Tell me something about the product I'm reviewing, tell me something about a product you'd like to see reviewed, and that will put you into the draw for the Topping E30 DAC. Of course, if you want more entries, all patrons get bonus entries to all of the giveaways, whether you comment or not on the videos, you're in the draws. So do jump through to the Patreon link if that's of interest to you, and take a look at the tiers and how you can win more gear that way. For now though, let's get into the reviews. I've been reviewing headphones and audio gear for a long time now, so somewhere around about 10 years I think. And in that time, obviously friends and colleagues get to know that you're into audio, that you like headphones and similar gear, and you get the questions pretty regularly about certain really well-known brands, whether it's something like a Beats, or in this case, the Bose Quiet Comfort series. And people say to you, what are they like? Are they good? Do you recommend them? I'd never till this moment really taken the time to listen to and review something like the Quiet Comfort 35s. And so I thought it was finally time for me to actually do a proper review with the Quiet Comfort 35. This is the Mark II version, so the current version, to once and for all be able to provide that answer of, do I recommend them? Do I think they're good? Or are there better things out there? I was hoping to have a chance to get my hands on the equivalent Sony product, but unfortunately did not get a chance to buy that before I got around to recording this review. I have listened to it in store, so I have a good sense of it, but obviously haven't lived with it in the same way I've lived with the QC35s. For the purpose of this review, I just also want to point out that I'm not going to talk about the features and functionality in any detail. They're a Bluetooth headphone that can also be used wired. They've got good controls, they've got good battery life, they've got good noise cancelling, and I will talk a bit about that in a moment, and they're very comfortable. But what I'm really focused on here as an audio quality, music lovers, and sometimes audiophiles focused channel is, how do they sound when stacked up against other competing products? And straight off the bat, I'm going to tell you that the very best thing about the Bose Quiet Comfort 35s Mark II is that they fit in this tiny case. That might give you an idea of where this review is going. I don't think they're good. I don't think I'd recommend them to anybody. I find the sound horrible, and that's going to sound extreme, but I'll explain why I find them horrible. And it's not to say that they don't serve a great purpose. If you're someone that has them for sitting on the train or the plane and maybe watching movies and multimedia on your phone, that's a perfect use for them. But if you're buying them looking for audiophile level sound as well as noise cancelling, you absolutely should not buy the Quiet Comfort 35 Mark IIs. The Sonys and indeed the newer phones absolutely destroy them on sound quality, and I'll explain why now. The thing that the Quiet Comforts do, there's two issues for me with what stops them from being a great sounding headphone. The first thing is the sound signature and the way the sound is presented. For some reason, the Bose tuning, and it seems to be the tuning more in the amplifier circuit than in the actual drivers themselves, because I turned off the active noise cancelling function and they sounded a little bit better. Not great, but a little bit better. So somewhere it's in the digital sound processing that's obviously being done as the sound goes through the noise cancelling process. Somewhere the engineers have put this overemphasis, in my opinion, on the upper mids, and it's made things become really splashy and really artificial, particularly in the range where things like cymbals sit. There's something just unnatural and forced about the sound, and it draws your attention away from the music and into this artificial treble, which goes completely against, in my opinion, what a headphone's meant to do, and that's to let you sink into the audio and enjoy the music. The sound on the surface is quite dynamic, it's relatively engaging, the bass quality is quite good, the mids are a little bit sucked out to give it that dynamic kind of V-shaped sort of sound, but it's not too bad overall. It's all about that artificial sounding splashy treble. That's what kills it for me with the QC35s. It just sounds to me like a really bad tuning decision on behalf of the engineers. Now, I should add here, I'm a fan of Bose in some ways. I've owned their SoundTouch Series 10, I still have their soundbar, the 300 soundbar, and I love the soundbar. The SoundTouch 10 sounded great, but we ended up getting rid of it because the software was dreadful. The Quiet Comforts for me are an example of Bose engineering gone wrong. They've overdone it, they've overcooked the signal, and it's just not a great sound. So I just want to make it clear, I'm not a Bose hater. I actually really love some of their products, but I also am not a fan of some other products. And sadly, this sits in the I'm not a fan of category. The other thing I want to talk about that messes up the sound for me, the way the noise cancelling's been done on the QC35s creates this strange sense of pressure almost in your ears. So it's a little bit like you've started to go up in a plane, you haven't hit that full-on pressure level where you want to pop your ears, but at the same time, something doesn't feel quite right. You can feel that there's some sort of pressure going on in your ears, and you're just constantly made a little bit uncomfortable by that. I have read examples online of people finding these giving them headaches, and I can completely understand that, and honestly, I didn't give them long enough to find out if they would give me a headache after a couple of hours, because within about 30 minutes, 40 minutes of listening, I just wanted to take them off and go back to a headphone that sounded right. And that's probably a key takeaway from this. The QC35 Mark IIs just don't sound right. That's really all there is to it. A headphone to me needs to sound at least balanced in its own way. Every headphone's got its own coloration, but if that coloration comes together in the right way and everything speaks well to everything else, then it doesn't really matter if it's a little bit bass oriented, a little bit treble oriented, maybe it's got enhanced mids. Any of those are fine so long as it's all well balanced with each other. That's where it's really gone wrong with the QC35 Mark II, and the added pressure that comes from that active noise cancelling just pushes it over the edge for me into the don't bother with it category. In contrast, the newer phones that I've reviewed on this channel, I absolutely adore how they sound. They're not natural, they're not completely true to source, I'm sure, but I enjoy them. I put them on and I'm bobbing my head and I'm loving every second of it, and the noise cancelling creates no pressure and no issue for me no matter how long I wear them. The only issue I have with those is a little bit of discomfort from having the ear tips in my ear canal. Admittedly, that's one area that the Quiet Comforts do get it perfect, which is comfort, as the name would suggest. The comfort factor of these is excellent. All of the padding's great, the headband's great. You can wear them for a long time. From a pure comfort point of view, whether you're going to want to from a sound point of view is a whole nother question. So from my point of view, I'm going to keep this pretty brief and just say, if you're looking for noise cancelling headphones, don't go for the Bose, go straight to the Sony. And I'm saying that having only listened to them briefly, they are easily better than the Quiet Comforts from Bose. So go for the Sonys, or even better, go for something like the newer phones that customizes its sound to your hearing if you're looking for a noise cancelling wireless headphone. I don't often do scathing reviews like this, so I apologize to any owners out there. I'm sorry if I upset anyone that's a big fan of Bose. As I said, I'm not a Bose hater. That's just my opinion on having listened to these in comparison to other headphones that I'm familiar with. And so I don't mean any ill will to Bose, but instead I hope this is a video that helps people making the decision of which headphone to buy to maybe steer in the right direction depending on what you're looking for. I should also put a small caveat on this. I did buy these secondhand. To my ears, they are working perfectly. It doesn't sound like a fault with them, but there is a small chance that what I'm hearing is not indicative of all QC35 units, because these are secondhand, they are used. There is a chance they could be faulty and I don't know it, but it doesn't sound like that to me. So take it with a grain of salt if you're not a fan of what I'm saying here. If you are thinking about buying headphones, then do strongly consider looking at other options, or at least give these a good listen to before you make that purchase decision, because you might be disappointed when you get them. If you're looking for a more of an audiophile style sound, you're not going to get it from the QC35s based on what I've heard here. As always, I hope this has been helpful. Don't forget about the Topping E30 DAC giveaway. If you want to be in the running for that one, just leave a comment down below. Or if you want extra bonus entries into this draw and all other draws, do jump through to the Patreon page, have a look at the tiers there, and see how you can get extra chances to win every single giveaway here on Passion for Sound. For now though, let me leave you to it, say happy listening, and I'll see you here next time on Passion for Sound.